You just delivered food and were zero point 0.1 seconds late, and were pinned against the wall by the 4 major Yanderes of the city. Crazy practice with a sister you haven't seen in ages. Not only are they devouring your leftovers with a fork, but your childhood buddy also secretly installed a micro-tracker on you. The top-tier introverted singer is choking you while shouting that they love you. Even the stoic vampire girl, frenziedly licking your blood while saying, "Brother, you smell so good." At that moment, I just finished delivering food and returned home. As soon as I opened the door, I was completely stunned. The living room lights were still on. The table was overturned, and the vase shattered everywhere. The whole place looked like it had been ransacked. The house was robbed. You looked at the mess and frowned. "Dad, are you okay?" You hurriedly pushed open the door to Dad's room. Clothes were scattered all over the floor. The drawers of the cabinet were all opened. There was originally a suitcase by the desk. All of this indicates that Dad left in a hurry with some things, and he was extremely rushed. What kind of situation could cause such heavy rain? What is Dad going through? Could it be that he offended someone, and now they've come looking for him? A heavy feeling settled in your heart. Suddenly, you had a bad premonition. The next second, your phone pinged. You glanced at your phone. A series of messages kept popping up. Dad encountered some issues and needs to go away for a while. He won't be back for some time. When school starts, you'll go to the Magic City alone. Remember not to mention me to anyone in the Magic City. And don't contact me. This matter is very important. It's up to you whether Dad can survive. Don't worry about where I'm going. And don't worry about me. We'll meet again once this is over, son. Just stay alive. Don't go home. I'm already home. As soon as the message was sent out, a red exclamation mark appeared in the chat. The other party has blocked you. You look up in disbelief. The front door is still open. The hallway is pitch black. It's eerily quiet. Dad sees things aren't looking good and just sold you out. All right, I'll remember this grudge. You don't hesitate at all and head towards the door. Better to leave first. But just at that moment, a flurry of chaotic footsteps echoed in the hallway. It didn't sound like just one person. The footsteps were hurried, definitely not from a neighbor. You halted in your tracks, cold sweat mingling with the rain soaked through your clothes. It's over, they've come to find you. You glanced at the wardrobe in the room. No, hiding won't work this time. You gritted your teeth, put on your hat, and zipped up your delivery uniform all the way to the top, lowered your head, and left your apartment, making your way toward the hallway. The motion sensor lights in the hallway flickered on. You kept your head down and pulled out your phone, pretending to be a delivery person confirming an order. Out of the corner of your eye, you kept an eye on the movement in the hallway. Before long, several black-suited men in sunglasses entered your line of sight. Your heart raced, instantly jumping into your throat. But I still forced myself to appear calm as I stared at my phone. "Excuse me, young man, please wait a moment." The lead man in black blocked my way. Beads of sweat began to form on your forehead. But what's wrong with speaking calmly? He took out a photo. Using the light, he compared it. The photo has nothing to do with you. "May I ask which delivery you're making?" "Aunt Wong on the top floor." You casually made up a name. The man in black furrowed his brows. "How do you know his last name is Wong?" "It's written on the delivery order." You remained unfazed. "Have you seen this person?" He flipped the photo and handed it to you. You took a glance at the young man in the photo. It was indeed your father. Soon, 1,000 thoughts raced through your mind. "Sorry, I haven't seen you before. If there's nothing else, I should be leaving. The next order is about to be overdue." The man in black nodded and continued walking upstairs. "That delivery guy looks a lot like the person in the photo." One of them leaned in to whisper in the leader's ear. The leader shook his head. "This photo was left by the head of the family decades ago. That delivery guy is still young. He can't be Master Gugio." As they spoke, they rushed into your house. Seeing the open door, their expressions changed instantly. "Oh no, we're too late. It's possible the master has already fled with the young master." They turned the house upside down, but found nothing. At that moment, a lazy female voice came through their earpiece. "So, have you tied him up, head of the family? The master has run away with the young master." The man in black spoke seriously. Shaolin, this time I won the bet." At the entrance of the neighborhood, a black stretch limousine was parked. A middle-aged woman in a black evening dress smiled. Teasing her, a girl in a black Lolita outfit sat beside her. The girl anxiously leaned against the car window, wiping away the fog. She looked towards the entrance of the community. In the night, she only saw a yellow figure running out, but she couldn't see the face clearly. "I have to go to my brother's house." The girl suddenly yanked open the car door and dashed out. "Miss, it's pouring rain outside." The driver quickly chased after her with an umbrella. "Oh dear, little Lynn is even more anxious than I am." The woman sat alone in the car. She took out a crumpled photo from her collar. In the photo, Gugio was taking a shower. "Darling, you promised to wait for me to inherit the family business before coming to find me. Now, no one can oppose me. Why won't you meet me?" He rested his chin on one hand, his sickly sweet smile growing more tender. But that's fine, darling. Do you want to play hide and seek with me? Sure, but if I find you. Her pupils gradually ignited with passion. But there will be consequences. Miss, what brings you here? Gu Shilin just stepped through the door. A few men in black looked at him in confusion. Where's my brother's room? If I'm not mistaken, it should be this one. The lead man in black pointed to the locked door next to him. Opening it, a man in black appeared. He took 2 steps back and kicked the door open. If nothing's wrong, you guys can go find my mother first. Several men in black obediently retreated. The driver was waiting at the door. The room was left with only Gu Shilin. He smirked and directly jumped onto the bed. Gu Shilin hugged the pillow tightly, burying his face into it. He took a deep breath, fearing that the familiar scent in the room would slip away. His brother now smells like this. It's different from before, but Shilin really likes it. I like my brother the most. Gu Shilin's eyes are dreamy. She looks completely enchanted. Why doesn't brother come to see my mom? I clearly messaged dad to tell him we would come see her, but she pouted. I'm feeling a bit annoyed. Did dad not tell brother? Brother must be playing hide and seek with me. I will definitely find brother. What should I do after finding brother? First, go with brother, then with brother again. After all that daydreaming about brother, Gu Shilin reluctantly got out of bed. She opened the wardrobe and hugged all her clothes in front of her. With one hand, she picked up her pillow. She walked straight out of the room. Miss, are you here to collect debts? The driver looked surprised. You don't need to worry about it. Do you need me to help you, miss? No, you can't. Gu Shilin shot a glare at the driver. He immediately fell silent, silently holding up the umbrella, no longer speaking as the heavy rain poured down. You sprinted all the way to a store far from the neighborhood. After walking in and confirming that the man in black hadn't followed you, you finally let out a sigh of relief. The boss saw that you were soaked from head to toe, his eyes wide as if he had seen a ghost. He cautiously asked, "Are you here to buy something, young man?" You awkwardly smiled. "Just hiding from the rain. I'll leave soon." Hey, boss, don't do this." Before you could finish your sentence, the door slammed shut with a bang. You were directly pushed outside, losing your balance and falling into the rain. "No, please, I'll leave in a moment." Your face pressed against the glass door. You looked longingly at the boss. The young man scared all the customers away. The boss tossed you a plastic umbrella. "Hurry home. This umbrella is a gift." You sighed deeply as you took the umbrella. You opened your phone to check your balance. You gritted your teeth and scanned to pay. Payment successful, balance 10.86. You never take things from others for free. But this time, your already empty pockets are just adding insult to injury. All the money you earned went to your dad. He decides how to spend it. But then he ran off with the money, not even leaving you a penny. This $10 is all you've got left. Otherwise, dad, I won't let you off easy. You huddled under the bridge, shivering. You opened your phone and clicked on a contact. Is the landlord there? "Bro, if I'm in trouble, will you help?" "Bro, I'm homeless now. Can I stay at your place for a while? I'll pay the rent at the normal rate. I might owe you for a bit. I'll pay you back once I start working. I'll be there shortly." This contact, labeled as landlady, is actually not the landlord. It's your good buddy, Song Wensi. He has several properties under his name. His parents are not in Chuan City. He lives off the rent. So that's why I gave her that nickname. Soon, a girl with golden hair got off a steady-looking car. She was holding a pink blanket and looking around. She saw you huddled under the bridge. She jogged over and draped the blanket over you. You, almost frozen, wrapped yourself in that blanket, finally feeling a bit warmer. I looked up and met Song Wensi's beautiful eyes. You smiled awkwardly. "I almost froze to death. I owe you my life. If you need anything in the future, just let me know. Don't say things like going through fire and water." She quickly interrupted you. Her eyes filled with concern as she looked at you. You curled up into a ball. She took your hand. "Come on, let's go home, your place." You were a bit surprised. You thought he would take you directly to the new rental. "You'll stay at my place tonight. We'll look for a rental tomorrow." He wouldn't take no for an answer. He pulled you straight into a taxi. "So what exactly is going on?" He turned his head. His gaze fell on you. Just as you were about to speak, you suddenly felt it was inappropriate. What if those looking for my dad target me? Bringing Song Wensi into trouble? I can't let her fall into danger. Besides, she's just a girl who's powerless. You avoided his gaze and casually made up a reason. "We owe the landlord too much money. We're being kicked out tonight." Song Wensi squinted. "Really? I asked you a long time ago if you wanted to stay at my place. Why did you refuse? I won't even charge you rent. Are you still not satisfied?" After saying that, he turned his head, pouting, pretending to sulk. "I'd rather die than take advantage of my brother. That's my bottom line." You said it very seriously. In the end, it made him laugh. He looked at me with a mischievous grin. "So what about my life-saving grace? How do you plan to repay it?" You thought for a moment and shook your head, saying you didn't know, but feel free to ask. "As long as I can do it." That's what you said. He gave you a meaningful glance. You didn't think much of it. What bad intentions could a good brother have? It's just asking you to work hard for him. He was like this when you lent him money before. You looked out the car window. The colorful neon lights blurred together in the rain. The landlord truly envies people like you who are rich. You couldn't help but sigh. There's no need to watch others' faces, and no worries about what to eat at the end of the month. What was that saying again? Your life, my dream. A soft voice came from beside me. Some people clearly have the chance to live this kind of life, yet they don't know how to seize it. You turned your head and pointed at yourself, saying, "Are you talking about me? Don't joke around. Besides winning the lottery, I can't think of any other opportunity for my family to turn things around." He rolled his eyes and stopped talking. The taxi drove for a long time, finally stopping in front of a big villa. "Oh, landlord, you moved. You've been to his house before. The two families aren't far apart. When we were kids, he often called you to come play. At that time, his parents would occasionally come back. You were also quite familiar with them. The relationship between the two families was as close as family. I moved here right after the college entrance exam. When I invited you to play, you weren't willing," he said helplessly. You awkwardly scratched your head. "Isn't this about working and having no time?" He pulled out a set of keys from his pocket. He handed them to you, saying it's the key to the villa. "You should go take a shower first." You took the key, feeling a bit puzzled. "Aren't you going home? I'll go buy you some clothes. You need to change after your shower, right? But it's raining so heavily. It's not safe for you to go out alone. I can skip the shower." "Get lost. That's disgusting." She looked at you with disdain. She handed you an umbrella. Without any hesitation, she pushed you out the car door. "All right, just remember the money for the clothes. We'll pay you back together later." You thought to yourself that a big guy like you shouldn't care about being a little dirty. Don't make a mess in someone else's home. After finishing speaking, you walked towards the villa. Only Song Wensi and the driver Xiaojian were left in the taxi. "Next, go to Nanhu apartment." "What kind of ordinary taxi is this?" "It is clearly a private car disguised as a taxi. The driver is also specially hired by the Song family to be a personal driver for Song Wensi." Song Wensi is not an ordinary landlord, but rather the young lady of the Song family, one of the 4 prominent families in the Magic City. The Song family caused quite a stir back in the day. His parents are protecting her for her safety. Just send her to Chuancheng. Later, the family turmoil subsided. This young lady, however, decided to stay in Chuan City. However, you probably don't know about these things. In your eyes, Song Wensi is just an ordinary rich woman. "Let me see what my dear can do." Song Wensi's lips curled slightly. "Don't let my efforts go to waste." Saying this, he took out a mobile phone. The screen displayed scenes from the villa. At this moment, you took off your wet clothes under the eaves. You asked if you could enter the villa only after ensuring you wouldn't drip water. The lights in the villa were still on. Song Wensi seemed to have rushed off in a hurry. You looked up at the huge chandelier above. You also glanced at the luxurious sofa in the living room. This villa was even more lavishly decorated than before. It truly opened your eyes. You knew the landlord was wealthy, but you didn't expect them to be this rich. And you had no idea how your dad was doing now. You looked out the window. The rain had not only stopped, but had gotten heavier. "Son, I don't expect you to give me a big villa, but please don't take away my living expenses." You sighed. After wandering around the first floor without finding a shower room, you walked up the stairs to the second floor. A long corridor comes into view. There are many murals hanging on the walls. You gaze at these paintings in shock, not because they are surprisingly beautiful, but because all these paintings are your work. You loved to draw when you were in elementary school, but your skills were hard to describe. Just then, Song Wensi, who was good at painting, became your art teacher. Once you finished, Song Wensi would keep them safe for you. You never expected he would hang all these pieces on the wall. "Darling, now you should understand my feelings for you." Song Wensi watches this scene with great interest, eagerly anticipating your reaction. Indeed, your eyes start to redden. You didn't expect the landlord to be so sentimental. You are deeply touched. "Truly, he is my good brother." The voice reached Song Wensi's ears, and his face turned dark in an instant. It's strange that such a big villa doesn't have a shower room. You walked all the way to the end of the hallway without seeing one. Dr. Ding's phone rang. It was a message from Song Wensi. "I forgot to tell you. There's no private shower room in the villa. Only my room has one. My room is on the second floor, the one with the light on." I hurriedly asked if this was inappropriate. She didn't reply. You looked up at his room. After hesitating for a moment, you pushed the door open and walked in. The walls were pink, and there was a giant teddy bear on the white bed. It seemed he used it as a pillow. She still kept this. You recognized it at a glance as the birthday gift you gave her when you were a child. How did it get torn like this? The teddy bear had quite a few small holes, but it was all sewn up by Song Wensi. "That's right, dear." Song Wensi's lips curled up slightly. "I've kept it until now." He deliberately poked a hole in the little bear, then stitched it up and placed it on the bed, as if that would prove his feelings. Seriously, how old are you? Still sleeping with a bear? You couldn't help but comment. Song Wensi looked at the phone screen, utterly speechless. Is this the main point? Next to the bed is a workbench and a computer desk. There's an open diary on it. The handwriting is clear and legible. Oh, when did the landlady start keeping a diary? You remember he didn't have this habit before. This diary was carefully prepared by Song Wensi. Dear, if you read the diary, you'll surely understand. He hadn't finished speaking yet. Honestly, even after writing it, he doesn't put it away. Good thing it's me who came. What if someone else sees it? You helped him close the diary, gently tucking the pen between the pages. It's okay, it's okay. Song Wensi forced down the urge to rush home. There's one last trick, ding-ling-ling. You were startled by the suddenly ringing alarm clock. Turning to look at the wardrobe in the room. How did she put the alarm clock in the wardrobe? You furrowed your brows. Song Wensi's lips curled slightly. This is something he set up in advance. Gu Yin would discover it as soon as he opened the wardrobe. It's filled with photos of her and you. This seems a bit inappropriate. After all, it's a girl's wardrobe. You withdrew your hand that was about to open the wardrobe, thinking it's better to let her take it out herself. What a clueless idiot. In the taxi, Song Wensi's eyes glimmered with a red light. Her smile twisted with anger. Did you really not notice my feelings at all? But that's okay. When I go back, I'll make you understand. For now, let's collect some interest first. He slid his finger across the screen. The surveillance scene shifted to the bathroom. His expression gradually became strange. Guyen. After a while, the car stopped at the apartment building. The young lady has arrived. The driver reminded her. Why does it have to be this time? She reluctantly put down her phone. So, young lady, what do you want? It's fine, just wait for me here. Song Wensi got out of the car. She opened the trunk. Drag out a white burlap sack. Aren't we going to buy clothes for Mr. Gu? The driver asked in confusion. Song Wensi did not reply. Carrying a burlap sack, he walked into the apartment through the heavy rain. He didn't care at all that his hair was wet. Where's a good place to put it? He opened the sack. It is filled with miniature cameras. Under the dim light, he seems to have forgotten to control his expression. Saliva accidentally dripped down. Let me decorate your new home nicely, starting with the bathroom. You hum a little tune. The hot water washes over the boi de sunjik. Still puzzled in my heart. When will the landlord come back? Just about to take out my phone to ask. Then I heard a heavy door slam on the first floor, accompanied by a series of rapid footsteps. Soon, there was a knock on the door. Have you finished washing up, Guyen? I brought you some clothes. Thanks. I'll remember how much it cost and pay you back later. The alarm clock in your cabinet has been ringing nonstop. You should turn it off. The alarm clock sound quickly came to an abrupt stop. Song Wensi's voice came through again. I'll add the cost of the clothes to your rent later. Sure, no problem. You agreed without thinking too much. Let me in to give you the clothes. Hurry up and open the door. You can just hand it to me. You opened the door a crack while wrapped in a towel. Damn Guyen, so stingy. He muttered in dissatisfaction as he pushed the bag inside. As you opened the bag, a familiar fragrance rushed over. You frowned tightly. Which store sells clothes that smell this good? Could it be that they sprayed perfume on it? Why does this smell so familiar? You're not overthinking it. He put on the clothes he had nearby. It feels a bit tight. Did the landlady buy this outfit too small? I don't know your size. I've never bought you clothes before. Her voice sounds a bit aggrieved. All right, let's just call it a sightseeing trip. You rummaged around in the bag for a while, looking at the pink, cartoon-patterned chubby figure in your hand. You fell into deep thought. The landlady didn't expect you to buy this kind of quick-change outfit for me. If you say more, I won't pay attention to you anymore. She interrupted you in embarrassment and anger. Though it's a bit tight because it's chubby, it can barely fit. Looking at the bulging bag filled with clothes, warmth filled your heart. I didn't expect him to be so thoughtful. I'll keep these clothes for now. Thanks, buddy. Outside the door, Song Wensi's lips curled into a strange smile. Looks like she'll have to buy herself some clothes now. When you walked out of the bathroom, you found him sitting on the bed. He was staring at you intently. What's wrong? You couldn't help but ask. It's nothing. He hurriedly averted his gaze. It's my turn to shower now. He strode towards the bathroom and closed the door. Song Wensi mumbled to herself. That annoying Gu Yin wants me to go this far, huh? But it's fine. Isn't it okay for a girl to be a bit proactive? She looked at the mirror and licked her lips, admiring her perfect looks and figure. I want you to know that I'm a girl, not just some good brother. Don't peek, okay? He said with a smile, followed by the sound of running water. You rolled your eyes towards the bathroom. Then I started scrolling through my phone, looking for suitable part-time jobs. Before long, Song Wensi's voice came from the bathroom. Oh no, I forgot to grab my towel. Guyen, could you please get it for me? You were momentarily stunned. Isn't there a towel in the bathroom? I usually live alone. How could there be so many towels? He spoke in a relaxed tone. There's one hanging on the balcony. Can you bring it to me, okay? You got up and took the towel from the balcony. You walked to the bathroom door. Her voice came again, come in. You doubted if you heard wrong and asked, what did you say? He repeated, come in. You froze in place instantly. Your mind was in a complete mess. Is the landlady really this bold? Or is it that rich families are all like this? Your body feels like it's filled with lead, unable to move. Your heart is racing. Why are you just standing there? Hurry in. His tone remains calm, as if he were talking about something trivial. Though we're brothers, brothers shouldn't behave like this either. We should be honest with each other. You try to sound righteous, but why? Song Wensi teased with a smile. Because you're a girl. Oh, so you know I'm a girl? She murmured in a soft voice. Then she revealed a strange smile and snapped a photo. The doorknob made a turning sound. The bathroom door swung open. You quickly close your eyes and turn away. It's not the landlady. What are you going to do? He gracefully approached you from behind, whispering in your ear. What's wrong, Guyen? His breath carries a faint fragrance. The warmth of the heating makes her voice seem electric, instantly making your whole body tingle. Isn't it a bit inappropriate to joke like this among brothers? What's wrong with trying to create some distance? A good brother should be honest with each other, right? Song Wensi's voice is softer than usual, like a completely different person. The honesty you mentioned, and what I mean, might be a bit different. You take a step forward, trying to escape, but he grabs your hand, like a dancing spirit, spinning to stand in front of you, blocking your way. Under the warm light, she stands on her tiptoes, her forehead pressed tightly against yours. Guyen, do you still not understand? Her voice is soft and fragile, tinged with a hint of grievance. You've made me wait for so long. That's really a cruel heart. You're like a wooden statue, frozen in place, unable to move. Song Wensi pressed his lips together, his eyes flickering. Actually, just close your eyes. He tossed the towel onto the bed, and then ran off with a dash. You tripped over a chair, unable to care about the vines. Getting up and rushing towards the door. With a loud bang, the door slammed shut. Song Wensi stood there in a daze, staring blankly in the direction you left. His expression darkened instantly, the corners of his mouth curling into a cold smile. Is this your answer, Guyen? Tears streamed down her cheeks, her eyes reflecting a strange red light. Her breathing became rapid as Gu Yin murmured to himself. He suddenly turned around and opened the wardrobe. He frantically tore down the densely packed photos inside. Her hands trembled slightly, as if grasping a lifeline. She held the photos tightly. The photos captured moments from when they met until their high school graduation. Her mood finally found a bit of relief. He was panting heavily, his face flushed red. Why can't Guyen understand? Why is he avoiding my feelings? We've been through so much. Why reject me? He cast his gaze on the teddy bear on the bed. He slowly walked over. He grabbed her and brought her to the workbench. He picked up a utility knife. In no time, the stuffing from the teddy bear burst out. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. He keeps going, one after another. The teddy bear gradually becomes unrecognizable. Guyen, why? His crimson eyes stare intently at the teddy bear in his hands, shaking it violently. He speaks. Guyen, I understand now. You don't like me enough yet, so you still can't accept my feelings. Actually, you understand everything. You're just pretending to be clueless. You've deceived me for so many years. Am I right? The teddy bear remains motionless, silently acknowledging his accusations. I knew it. But it's okay, my dear. I will slowly nurture our relationship. Until your world contains only me. There can only be me. Her gaze is hazy, completely immersed in her own fantasies. She tightly hugs the teddy bear. It's falling apart under the pressure. Cotton spills everywhere. Guyen is painfully lying on the ground. His trembling hands pick up the cotton, clumsily stuffing it back into the teddy bear. But the more anxious he gets, the worse it becomes. Finally, the teddy bear spits out the last bit of cotton, turning into a fabric full of wounds. I was wrong, Guyen. I shouldn't have let you leave so easily. Ha ha ha, Guyen. I will make sure you have no right to refuse me. Forever and ever, stay by my side, my dear. This is all your fault. As he said this, he unhesitatingly took out his phone, opening the location app. I was just about to have the bodyguard grab you back, but upon looking at the location, he widened his eyes. Hey, why is the red dot on the map moving so quickly? It's just heading towards the villa. Creak. The door of the villa downstairs was opened, as a voice shouted out, Landlady, I'm back. Song Wensi froze in place. He never expected you would suddenly come back. Why? He kept repeating these three words. For a moment, he was at a loss. Realizing you were about to go upstairs, Song Wensi suddenly snapped back to reality. Guyen, wait. Don't come up. Her voice was a bit flustered. Landlady, what's wrong? I asked, puzzled. I'm changing clothes. You can't come in. He hurriedly cleaned up the cotton on the floor. Wait, didn't you just tell me to go straight into the bathroom? You scratched your head. Pervert, I was wrapped in a towel back then. He replied while tidying up. Didn't you ask me to get you a towel? I was even more confused. Do I need 2 towels to dry off? Is that not allowed? Her tone carried a hint of panic. You scare me to death, landlord brother. I almost lost my purity. All right, hurry up. I sighed in relief. Song Wensi anxiously cleaned up the floor. She stuffed the cotton and the torn fabric into the wardrobe. Then she quickly climbed onto the bed. She buried her head in the pillow, afraid that you would see her tears. All right, coming quickly. You pushed the door open, carrying a bag in your hand. You sat down at the edge of the bed. Guyen, why are you back? Her head was still buried in the pillow, muttering softly, why can't I come back? You looked completely puzzled. What are you back for, to pity me? She remained lying down. Clenching her teeth, she dared not look at you. At her words, you were even more confused. You recalled a moment. Back then, you came to me without any clothes on. You even pressed your forehead against mine. What did I say? Do you remember? Her voice was filled with anger. Her cheeks flushed. I have no recollection at all. Didn't you have a fever? I just went out to buy you some medicine. You raised the bag in your hand. It's getting late. If we wait any longer, the pharmacy will close. This startled Song Wensi a bit. The room fell into silence, and after a moment, he flipped over. His big eyes were filled with surprise. He didn't care about his tear-streaked face. With tears in his eyes, he looked at you and said, I have a fever. Oh no, why are you crying? Do you feel very uncomfortable? You felt a bit at a loss. You looked at her with a pained expression. Song Wensi didn't respond. You were a bit flustered, not knowing whether to speak or stay silent. You quickly walked to the side of the bed. You tossed the medicine aside and asked, do you feel very uncomfortable? When you pressed your forehead against mine back then, I felt your forehead was burning hot. That's when I realized you had a fever, so I hurried to buy some medicine. Did you get caught in the rain when you went out to buy clothes? You tried to explain your earlier actions, thinking she was crying like this because of a fever. I know you're not feeling well. You catch a cold as soon as you get wet, and then you have a fever. If you don't take medicine, you won't recover from the cold. I was rambling on with my explanations. Song Wensi still didn't move. Her beautiful eyes were fixed on you. Tears kept flowing down uncontrollably. You became more anxious. Did I say something wrong again? But I didn't know how to explain. I might as well just apologize directly. Oh, Wensi, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have kept you waiting for so long. It's mainly because I only have $10 left. I couldn't afford a cab, so I had to run to the pharmacy to get you medicine. Many pharmacies around here have closed down. I went to several stores before I finally got the medicine for you. You placed your hand on her forehead. Then you compared it to your own forehead. Your temperature felt even hotter than before. You better lie down. I'll go prepare the medicine. Just as you turned around to get some water, the edge of your shirt was firmly grabbed. Are you not going to let yourself go? You feel like the sky is about to fall. You turn back, feeling a bit scared, afraid that the landlady is angry because of you. You also feel a bit regretful. In such heavy rain, girls shouldn't be sent out to buy clothes for you. But more than that, you feel ashamed. You made Song Wensi cry. You didn't fulfill your responsibilities as a brother. Are you angry? You tentatively asked. Maybe it's because of the fever. A slight flush appeared on Song Wensi's face. This feeling is so familiar. You grew up together since childhood. Song Wensi's parents are often not around her. Usually, the housekeeper takes care of her when she gets sick. But every time she gets sick and takes leave, you always come to her house to see her. Sometimes you bring homework to tutor her, and sometimes you help the housekeeper take care of her. As he grew up, it seemed his health improved significantly. He hardly got sick, especially after starting high school. You got busy with your studies, and it had been a long time since you last visited her home, not to mention taking care of her like this. Then I'll go brew some medicine for you. You said this and tried to get up, but he wouldn't let you. Guyen forcefully pulled your clothes, causing you to lose your balance and fall onto the bed. Then a soft body embraced you from behind. Guyen, I'm really scared. Her voice was soft, and it carried a hint of a weak cry. What's wrong? You think Song Wensi might just be having a fever. It's nothing. She'll feel better soon after taking the medicine. Just hang in there. You gently pushed Song Wensi behind you, but she clung to you like a sticky plaster, not letting go. Come on, you're not a child anymore. When you're sick, you need to rest well. Your gentle tone seemed to trigger something in Song Wensi. She tightened her grip around your waist even more. When did you get this strong, landlord? You winced in pain. Guyen, you take such good care of me. How can I repay you? Song Wensi rubbed against your back. You can just give me back the $10 for the medicine, you replied. No way. Song Wensi seemed really out of it. His voice was weak and listless. Hearing this, you were left puzzled. You couldn't help but inwardly complain. Why is the landlady so stingy? But when you turned around, you saw Song Wensi had already closed his eyes. He was pressed tightly against you. He smiled and teased. So what are you going to give me? Upon hearing this question, Song Wensi let out a few soft sounds you couldn't quite catch. So you leaned down, bringing your ear close to his lips. I want to put you in my. You froze. Before your brain could process it, your head was suddenly pressed down onto the bed. Landlady, what are you doing? If you're going to fight, at least wait until you're better, Guyen. Song Wensi squinted his eyes slightly. He had heart-shaped sparkles in his pinkish-red pupils, wanting to see how it feels. At 39 degrees, I was feeling this way. You looked at him in confusion. This girl is really on fire. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Looking at her dazed appearance, that delicate little face was still flushed. You couldn't help but pinch your brother. Quite cute, obedient. Guyen's voice became quieter and quieter. After a while, the breathing became calm. It seems like you fell asleep, but her hands are still not honest. It feels like petting a cat for a while. In a moment, it was like touching a child's head. You let out a chuckle. So you're just a pet in his eyes. Either just a little kid. I didn't expect the landlord to have the habit of talking in her sleep. You suddenly have a flash of inspiration. If we could take a picture of her like this. Let's record another audio, hee. When he wakes up, he will definitely beg me to delete it. In the end, he'll do whatever I say, right? Why not have him pay me back for the medicine first and say it's done? You pull out your phone and start taking pictures of his face. Then you turn on the recording. You hold the phone close to his mouth. Perfect. You smirk and prepare to get up, but realize that even though he's asleep, he's hanging on to you like he's attached. His arms are wrapped around your neck, with his chin resting on your shoulder. Occasionally, the warm breath he exhales lands on your face. Seriously, how am I supposed to sleep like this? Considering he's my brother, you let it slide. In the morning, a ray of sunlight pours through the floor-to-ceiling window on Song Wensi's face. He slightly opens his eyes, seeing you lying next to him. At this moment, you have huge dark circles under your eyes, staring at him with resentment. Because your arm is completely numb under his weight. You can't feel it at all, but you don't dare to move, afraid of waking him up. What's worse is that you now feel completely drained. You feel like all your energy has been sucked away. Song Wensi looks all hazy and confused. He squints and stares at you for a moment. Then he leans his face closer. He softly says, "Good morning." Then he closes his eyes again. He shifts his body closer to you, getting ready to sleep a little more. "Landlady, can you see what time it is now?" Your voice is a bit hoarse. Since morning, you felt discomfort in your throat. You probably caught it from him. Plus, last night you had to obediently lie there, acting as his human pillow. You didn't sleep a wink all night. Song Wensi seems not to have heard. He continues to hold onto your neck, lying quietly in your embrace. You sighed inwardly. Her illness is partly your responsibility. Thinking of this, your anger faded a bit. You might have been seen as that stuffed teddy bear to him. You let out a yawn. Your gaze scanned the room. Strangely, where did that teddy bear go? It was clearly here before. It wasn't until noon that Song Wensi finally opened her eyes. She looked much better. Her mind seemed clearer too. Did the landlady sleep well? You said slowly, word by word. Yes, it was quite comfortable. Guyen, how about you? Did you sleep well? He sat up and stretched. The sunlight filtered through her thin nightgown, outlining her curvy figure. Then let's go check out the rental places. You were just about to sit up. He pressed him back onto the bed again. Landlady, what are you doing? Are you sick? He keenly sensed that something was off with you. A strange light flickered in her eyes. You seem to be sick too. Just stay in bed and rest today. Yuku Shaojik Yaola Yalto. This little illness is nothing. I was burning up before and my legs felt weak. I still want to work a whole day part-time, so we shouldn't delay. Let's hurry and set out to check the rent. Her voice was very resolute. You just stay at home and lie down. I'll take you to see the house after you get better. Speaking of which, her voice gradually became softer. I haven't taken care of you when you were sick before. I haven't slept all night. Plus, due to the fever, you are indeed quite tired. So you compromised. All right, then I'll leave it to you. Once you've said that, slowly close your eyes. Your consciousness begins to fade. Your breathing gradually steadies. Song Wensi crouches by the bed. A sly smile tugs at the corners of his mouth. Ha ha ha. Guyen, let me take good care of you. He reaches out to touch your flushed cheek, feeling the heat radiating from your face. As if drawn by something, she presses her entire face against yours, rubbing against your cheek. Her expression gradually distorts, completely lost in the moment. After a long while, he reluctantly gets up, constantly running his fingers through your hair, softly speaking as if to a child. Guyen, you're so well behaved. What kind of reward should I give you? Suddenly, she seems to think of something, her eyes lighting up. You must be hungry now. Let me feed you something delicious. He quickly returned from the kitchen with a piece of bread. He gently took a small bite, chewing it slowly for a few moments. He let the crumbs sit on his tongue. Song Wensi stared at your lips, slightly trembling with each breath. A wave of inexplicable excitement surged within him. He leaned in closer, lost in thought, preparing to order you some imported bread. Just then, his phone suddenly rang. He was startled by the sudden ringtone. The piece of bread fell from his tongue to the floor. He stood there in a daze for a few seconds. His expression darkened instantly, cursing in his heart, wondering who was so inconsiderate. Why does it have to ruin this moment for me? He ignored the call. She took another bite of the bread, ready to try again. The ringing phone disturbed you, making you turn over. You turned your back to Song Wensi. This completely ruined Song Wensi's plan to pamper you. He reached out, wanting to turn you over, but he was afraid of waking you up. After struggling for a while, he decided to give up. The corners of his mouth twitched a few times. Then he walked out of the room with a stern face. He pulled out his phone with a look of resentment. His voice sounded surprisingly listless. "Hey, Wensi, are you home?" On the other end of the line, Song's mother spoke gently. He weakly replied, "Yeah," wondering what was wrong. "Is Wensi feeling unwell? Or are you facing some trouble?" There was a moment of silence on the line. Suddenly, he heard Song's father's voice. "It wouldn't be that Gu Yin is bullying you, would it?" She pouted and muttered softly. "Gu Yin treats me the best." Although the voice was very low, Song's father and mother heard it clearly. Song's mother couldn't help but laugh out loud. "You're not actually with Gu Yin, are you?" Song Wensi didn't expect to be guessed right on the mark. Her face instantly turned as red as a ripe peach. "She's in my room, so that's how it is." Song's mother smiled meaningfully. "It seems we've disturbed you." As soon as Song's father heard this, he rushed up immediately. "This kid is really not honest at all. He actually ran to your house. Just wait until I see him. I'll show him what I can do with scissors." "Dad, what are you thinking?" Song Wensi huffed in embarrassment and anger. She quickly explained the situation. Upon hearing this, Song's father and mother were both stunned. "No wonder we couldn't reach Gu Jiu these past few days. Their family really is something. They don't even think to ask us for help. How about you just bring Gu Yin to stay at our place for a few days? Isn't she also attending Magic City University? This way, you can have some company. Gu Yin won't have to worry about living expenses either. Is that really okay?" Song Wensi's voice carried a hint of excitement. "Just look at her." Song's mother smiled and glanced at Song Zi, who was looking rather displeased. She wasn't even in the mood just now. But as soon as she heard Gu Yin could move in, she got so excited all of a sudden. "But Gu Yin won't agree to it." Song Wensi sighed. "He's someone who cares too much about face. It's impossible for him to stay at our place for free. Besides, if he knew my true identity, he probably wouldn't want to associate with me like this." Song Wensi knew in her heart, if he found out she was actually a rich girl, "I'm afraid there will definitely be an additional barrier between the two of you. You two are really a headache. Gu Yin is really great at everything, but he's as wooden as a block of wood." Song's mother shook her head helplessly. "Your identity will eventually be exposed. You can't keep pretending in front of him forever, can you? At least not for now." Song Wensi gritted his teeth. Sometimes he really wants to knock on your head to see if it's really filled with wood. He decided to continue hiding it. "He'll tell you the truth only after your relationship is confirmed. How about this? I'll buy a villa near Shanghai University. You can just say you want to share a rental with him. Charge a symbolic rent. He shouldn't notice your identity. That should satisfy both sides, right?" Song Wensi's eyes lit up. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. "All right, it's settled. I don't agree." Mr. Song was so anxious he kept banging the table. "Living together, a man and a woman alone. Who knows what that kid might do?" Mrs. Song rolled her eyes. "Aren't we also in the Magic City? If it really comes down to it, I can just drop by for dinner every day. Let your old father rest assured." He paused, smiling meaningfully. "Besides, you know Gu Yin is a very honest kid. If something really happens, I'll just bring him back and make him my son-in-law. He won't be able to run away." "What are you guys talking about?" Song Wensi pretended to be angry, pouting. "How can you guys be such a scam for your daughter?" But the corners of her mouth couldn't help but curve up. "Wensi, why don't you just go back to the Magic City tomorrow? Come back sooner to save Gu Yin from suffering out there." Mrs. Song finally said with a meaningful smile. "Then I won't disturb you any longer. Have fun, okay?" Call ended. The more Song Wensi thought about it, the more excited she became. Her mind was already planning how they would have dinner together. Scenes of going to school together flashed in her mind. She completely failed to notice that her facial expressions were already out of control. By the time she snapped back to reality, she hurriedly wiped the drool from the corner of her mouth, but she still felt a bit of regret in her heart. It's a pity about the camera in the rental. Now it won't be any use. Where's this? You open your eyes and find yourself in a shabby little dark room. Everything around you is pitch black. Your hands and feet are tightly bound to a rickety wooden chair. The more you struggle, the tighter the ropes seem to bind you. It's as if you've been cursed. A beam of sunlight filters through the rotating exhaust fan, shining on your face. The shadows of the blades gently sweep across your features, as if a hand from the abyss is softly caressing you. That beam of light also illuminates another figure beside you, your dad. You exclaimed, "How could you be here?" Gujio seemed to not hear you at all. His gaze was vacant, staring ahead. He looked like a lifeless statue. You shook your body vigorously, moving the chair little by little closer to him. 5 meters, 3 meters, 1 meter. Just about to touch your dad. Suddenly a shadow loomed over you. blocking out the only sunlight. An indescribable sense of oppression engulfed you, as if a heavy weight was pressing down on you. You lost your balance and fell to the ground. Help! Dad! 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 The feeling of oppression didn't fade away, but instead grew stronger. The ropes binding you tightened even more as the shadow enveloped you. Soon, all light was swallowed up. Your world fell into complete darkness. Worse still, your mouth and nose felt blocked by something, making it harder to breathe. The instinct to survive made you struggle desperately, but your arms and legs are paralyzed. You can only keep shaking your head, trying to shake off the weight on you. At this moment, you feel like a drowning person, desperately trying to rise to the surface, but it feels like an invisible hand is pulling you down. Am I going to die here? You scream in your heart. No, I can't die. What about Dad? You look around in panic, but there's no sign of Dad anywhere. Everything in front of you shatters like a bubble. I can't die. But it's all in vain. You seem to be falling into an endless deep sea. Your consciousness fades gradually. Then you suddenly open your eyes. The sudden burst of strength propels you off the bed. You throw Song Wensi, who is weighing you down, away. With a thud, Song Wensi crashes heavily to the ground. Lying on his back, he lets out a wail. You're sitting on the bed, breathing heavily. I almost suffocated in my dream just now. How could I have such an absurd yet real dream? Hey, landlady, why are you sleeping on the floor? You look towards Song Wensi, who is lying on the ground, feeling puzzled. Song Wensi slowly gets up from the floor. She smooths her hair. The blush on her face hasn't completely faded yet. She wipes the corner of her mouth with her sleeve. Feeling a bit awkward, she says it's nothing. I just slipped and fell. He will never tell you. About that time he forcefully kissed you while you were unconscious, right? You squint your eyes, staring at his constantly dodging gaze. So what is this thing? You pick up a few golden strands of hair from the blanket. It's normal to find my hair on my bed. Then why is there some on my face too? You pull a few golden strands of hair from your own face. I want to check the temperature of your forehead. Let's see if your fever has gone down. So I just pressed my forehead against yours for a moment. I see. Do you think that makes some sense? But it still feels a bit off. Are you feeling better from your cold? You both ask in unison. Oh, I'm fine now. She shifts slightly, her eyes cast down towards the floor. One finger idly plays with the tips of her hair as you nod. I feel much better too. By the way, how long have I been sleeping? As you say this, you glance at the wall clock. You take a sharp breath. You've been lying in bed for almost a day. Song Wensi brings over a cup of hot water from the bedside table. She looks at you with a cheerful smile. I've taken care of you all day, you know. You take a good look at her. Tiny beads of sweat have formed on her forehead. After just going through an intense workout, you must be exhausted just to take care of me, right? You felt a bit heartbroken as you handed him the hot water. Then he began talking about our shared housing situation. You nodded without thinking too much. It's good to live together with a good buddy, looking out for each other. Besides, you both got into the same university. Going to and from school together every day sounds pretty good. As long as you don't have to stay in the same room as Song Wensi. Then it's settled. We'll set off tomorrow. Seeing that you didn't refuse, he was so excited, he almost jumped up. But what about tonight? You asked. Did I forget to mention? This villa only has my room as a bedroom, so you have to sleep here. You looked at him suspiciously and frowned. And you still haven't broken your fever. I still need to take care of you. You'll just have to bear with it for one more night in this room, okay? You found a blanket and laid it on the floor, preparing to sleep on the ground by yourself. Song Wensi looked at your actions with a sly smile. Little Yinzi, how uncomfortable it must be to sleep alone. Miss allows you to share the bed with me, you know. You rolled your eyes. If you keep pestering me like this, I won't be able to get up tomorrow. The place you're renting is actually a villa? Arriving in the Magic City, you stared in amazement at the 3-story villa in front of you. Yeah, he nodded. It's very close to the school. You can get there in 10 minutes. Noticing your concerns, he quickly explained. Don't worry about the rent. This is a house owned by my parents' friends. It was empty and no one was renting it out. When they heard we needed a place, they gave us an incredibly low price. You moving in has really helped me out a lot. I saved half on the rent. After hearing this, the burden on your heart lightened considerably. You followed Song Wensi into the villa. As soon as Song Wensi entered the door, she threw herself onto the sofa, complaining, I'm exhausted. She lay on the sofa, her legs restlessly swinging around. Her slippers flew off in different directions, almost hitting the TV. Are you tired? You looked at your hands, full of her big and small bags. The corners of your mouth twitched in resignation. Landlady, don't be lazy. Get up and help tidy up the luggage. You don't have to help me organize it. It's fine. Aren't you going to tidy up your own room? You smirked mischievously. Your hands reached towards her soft spot. Get up, get up. You skillfully attacked her armpits. Okay, I admit I was wrong. Song Wensi giggled and begged for mercy. I'll clean my room right now. You helped move her luggage to the doorway. You reminded her, You start tidying up first. I'll be out for a while. I might not come back tonight. It's so late. Where are you going? She looked a bit confused. You let out a deep sigh. I'm going to look for a part-time job. If I'm lucky, I might earn some money tonight. He showed a hint of complexity in his eyes at your words. All right then, just don't stay out too late. Watching your departing figure, Song Wincy couldn't help but smile. Darling, how could I bear to let you work? Saying this, he made a phone call. After hanging up, he opened a hidden compartment in his suitcase, took out a camera, and walked towards the next room. Darling, given how well I treat you, isn't it fair for me to get a little reward? Sure, bro, you actually live in this big villa. That night, Gu Ting rode her motorcycle to drop you off at the villa entrance. That's right, I spent the whole night looking for a part-time job. But unexpectedly, I ran into my cousin Gu Ting, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. Your dad's brother's daughter is in your memories. Cousin came to Shanghai to fight for herself after graduating from college. I can only see her during the new year. When we were kids, she often bullied you, even though you were strong and healthy. The pressure of bloodline made you lose in confrontations with her, so you nicknamed her the female tyrant. She was about to wave goodbye to you. You glanced at the time. It's not safe for her to stay out this late. Why don't you stay in my room for the night? You can have the bed. I'll take the floor. Gu Ting yawned and waved her hand, saying it's fine. But you should sleep wherever you want. I can make do with the sofa. Having said that, she dragged her tired body and followed you into the room. The landlord should be asleep by now. You quietly closed the door and tiptoed upstairs. Suddenly, a slightly playful voice came from the second floor. Why are you so late returning? Song Wincy was wearing a bare pajama and sleepily poked her head out. Gu Ting saw her at a glance. Gu Ting's eyes lit up. Then she broke into a bright smile. Wincy, why are you living with this guy? We got into the same university, so we decided to. Song Wincy blushed and stammered. Gu Ting raised her mouth with a meaningful smile. She had long seen through the girl's thoughts. Suddenly, she perked up. So what's your relationship now? What relationship? You yawned and rolled your eyes. Sis, you should go to sleep quickly. Tomorrow, I'll go job hunting with you. And why is the landlord still awake at this hour? Do you believe I'll report you to Auntie? Song Wincy directly linked her arm with yours. Is she waiting for you? Saying that, she pulled you into her room. Landlady, what are you doing? I'm exhausted. Hurry up and let go of me. No, I'm afraid of the dark and can't sleep. Song Wincy put on a pitiful expression. She clung to you and acted cute. Keep pretending if you want. You shot him a glare. Song Wincy winked at Gu Ting, who understood immediately. She quickly slipped into your room. Sister 2 suddenly wanted to sleep on the bed. After saying that, she locked the door with a click. You realized something was off. Oh dear, Sister Gu Ting must be tired too. Why don't we let her rest well? A hint of cunning flashed in Song Wincy's eyes. She closed the door to her room. I really can't believe you two. You can only accept your fate and slump in his room's chair. He looks at you with a smile. How's the part-time job hunt going today? Thinking about tonight's experience, you can't help but sigh, realizing there's no hope. Tomorrow I'll have to try a bit further. You lay out all the bizarre encounters you had today. Hearing this, Song Wincy furrows his brow. The smile on his face gradually fades. He listens to your endless complaints. With his head down, he seems lost in thought. Half an hour later, you finally can't resist that wave of drowsiness. You fall asleep right there in the chair. My dear, you've finally fallen asleep. I can hardly wait anymore. Song Wincy lifts his head. A knowing smile creeps onto his lips. Song Wincy gently places you on the bed, saying, sleep well, I'll come keep you company soon. I'll be there shortly, just hang tight. First, let's deal with those bullies who picked on you. He tucked you in nicely. He took out his phone and dialed a number. TSK, TSK, why are these two not making any noise at all? Gu Ting is in the next room, leaning against the wall. Listening in on the happenings here is really boring. Gu Ting sighed in frustration. In his heart, you and Song Wincy are like a pair of celestial lovers who have been together since childhood. As a seasoned CP fan, I must get involved more. No, I have to go see what they're up to. The thought of witnessing this juicy drama made Gu Ting's blood rush. He had completely forgotten his drowsiness. He tiptoed to Song Wincy's door. The light from inside the room shone through the crack in the door. Huh, aren't lights supposed to be off during a date? As he was pondering this, a cold voice suddenly came from inside. From tomorrow on, I don't want to hear about the High family in the Magic City. And bring the young master of the High family to me. I have my own plans. What? Is that Wincy's voice? Why has he suddenly become so domineering? Gu Ting's eyes widened. This voice is completely different from her impression of Song Wincy. It carries an inexplicable authority. His brain was working at lightning speed. Wait, the 4 major families of the Song family. A truth gradually formed in his mind. Little brother, you've really caught a big fish here. Following you from now on, who would worry about not having good food and drink? Just when Gu Ting was still lost in her dreams, Song Wenxi's alluring voice rang out again in the room. Gu Yan, I've helped you out again. So, should I ask you for a little reward now? Upon hearing this, Gu Ting's mouth couldn't help but curl up. He wished he could turn himself into a piece of clay. In the room, Song Wenxi leaned down to press his face closer. You took a deep breath, my dear, and as soon as your teacher stepped out the door, it was a whole day of preventing situations like running out of battery. Let's take a few batteries and use them for now. Soon, accompanied by a tearing sound, a piece of fabric appeared in Song Wenxi's hand. Outside the door, Gu Ting heard this sound and imagined countless scenes, a gleam flashing in her eyes. Wow, going that bold. After a series of sparse noises, Song Wenxi, without any guilt, carefully stored these trophies. He took out a new one to help you change, since you were too tired. Plus, his movements were so practiced that the whole process didn't wake you. Suddenly, a loud bang broke the silence. Song Wenxi turned around sharply to see Gu Ting sitting on the floor, rubbing her sore backside. She was too engrossed and leaned too hard, which broke the door lock. The two looked at each other and then instinctively glanced away. Gu Ting smiled awkwardly, saying she was just sleepwalking a moment ago. He was about to leave, but couldn't help looking back once more. Wait, how did Gu Yan fall asleep? Gu Ting's mind raced. So the tearing sound earlier wasn't made by Gu Yan. The sleeping Gu Yan is the real victim. Then Song Wenxi, does that mean did you know all along? Song Wenxi lowered his head, his voice barely a whisper, maybe. Gu Ting awkwardly looked elsewhere. Yeah, Song Wenxi's head was practically steaming. He never thought he'd be caught by your cousin while doing something like this. If she tells you, don't worry, I absolutely won't tell her. Gu Ting raised her hand to vow, no, no, no. We can't let Gu Yan find out. Song Wenxi muttered to himself. The temperature in the room dropped suddenly. The heating seemed to have lost its warmth. Gu Ting was sweating on her forehead. She spoke seriously. What happened with Wenxi is actually quite normal. You two have such a good relationship. I've always thought highly of you. Sister won't betray you, no way. Song Wenxi is like a broken record. Even if you have some unusual preferences, I'll still stand by you too. Gu Ting tried to reason with her, but it didn't work. Seeing that she was completely ignored, Gu Ting frowned and waved her hand in front of her. Absolutely cannot let my darling know. Song Wenxi suddenly looked up, her hollow eyes staring at Gu Ting. A strange smile curved at the corners of her mouth. She picked up the scissors from the ground and stood up with a tap, tap, tap. Barefoot, she stepped on the wooden floor, closing in step by step, muttering incomprehensibly about a female disaster. Wenxi had completely lost her sanity. She was a completely different person from her usual gentle and sweet self. Gu Ting shivered. Step back slowly. What to do? What to do? I want to escape, hurry and run. Gu Ting's mind raced. She turned and dashed outside. The sound of footsteps followed her slowly and steadily. Gu Ting hurried down the stairs, heading straight for the door. Right now, escaping is the priority. Otherwise, today might be the end for her. As she rushed to the entrance, Gu Ting frantically twisted the doorknob, but the door wouldn't budge. Damn it, open up. Gu Ting glanced back. Song Wenxi had already come downstairs. Her peach-colored eyes glowed eerily in the dark. She was slowly walking toward the window. Gu Ting stumbled and fell to the ground. She crawled and rolled to the floor-to-ceiling window. Moving her hands made a crackling sound. The window was rusted shut and wouldn't open. Song Wenxi was getting closer and closer. Only 3 steps away, Gu Ting collapsed onto the ground. Her eyes were filled with terror. She was slowly shrinking back, until her back hit the wall, with nowhere to retreat. The scissors in Song Wenxi's hand cut through the air with a cold glint as she tightened her grip. The instinct to survive overpowered Gu Ting's fear. He fixed his gaze on the scissors in Song Wenxi's hand. At the moment she lunged down, he gripped Song Wenxi's hand directly. The seemingly delicate Song Wenxi, at this moment, seemed to have transformed. She unleashed an inhuman strength. Gu Ting gritted his teeth and held firm, but it was clear he couldn't hold out for long. Song Wenxi exerted force, muttering to herself, though it was hard to hear. But the name Gu Yan always lingers in his mouth, right Gu Yan? Gu Ting suddenly realized. Just now, I was too busy escaping, and forgot the most crucial point. The reason Song Wenxi is going crazy is to hide his true self in front of Gu Yan, right? Gu Ting tentatively spoke up. I have photos of Gu Yan from when he was a child. Song Wenxi seemed not to hear, his eyes vacant. But he was fixated on Gu Ting. No. She and Gu Yan are childhood friends. Photos of Gu Yan as a child hold no allure for her. What on earth is he interested in? Wait a minute. She's just a Yandere. Suddenly, Gu Ting had a flash of inspiration and shouted, I have a fat picture of Gu Yan, no matter what, for the sake of survival. I'll just say anything. Song Wenxi's movements suddenly halted. A strange light flashed in her eyes. Gu Yan's underwear, hee hee. Gu Ting's eyes lit up. Grasp this lifeline. All the panties are with me. Gu Ting is like reading out a list of dishes. I've said everything that came to mind. And she said that you are her favorite. Gu Ting's statement, like a stabilizing anchor, completely stabilized Song Wenxi's mind. I also like Gu Yin the most. The scissors fell to the ground with a clatter. Song Wenxi ran out of battery, collapsed, and fell asleep. Gu Ting was slumped in the corner, tears welling up in the eyes. Who would have thought that on ordinary days, the little girl who sweetly calls her sister, behind the scenes, she is a warrior with explosive combat prowess. You're in luck, little brother. Gu Ting took a long moment to stand up. He carried Song Wenxi back to the room. He glanced back at the two people sleeping peacefully. Gu Ting shook his head with a wry smile. Finally, he found the switch for the main door in the room. Not daring to look back, he hopped on his motorcycle and sped away. The morning sunlight poured through the curtains and fell on your face. You groggily opened your eyes. It was a rare moment of enjoying a lazy wake-up. As expected, Song Wenxi was still clinging to you like an octopus, leaving you unable to move. Oh no, I still have to find a part-time job today. Suddenly remembering this, you struggled to break free from his grasp. You tiptoed to the door of the next room. Sister, are you up? You called out tentatively, but no one responded. Could it be that my sister left without saying anything? You took out your phone to call him. You saw a message from 1 a.m. Instantly, it plunged you into deep thought. My sister had something to do and left. See you later. Remember to take some time to visit me after school starts. Wenxi is a really nice girl. Make sure to get along with her well during college. Just make sure not to make her angry. And also live well. Looking at these messages, you didn't think much of it. You sent a message to Song Wenxi and then headed out. Why are so many people gathered over there? Muing, I love you. A group of fans were chanting the goddess's name in unison. They were openly expressing their love for her. As a few black Maybachs slowly drove in from the distance, the crowd suddenly erupted with a shout. They're here. It's Yan Muying's convoy. Sun Jian's fans went wild. In an instant, the shouting was deafening. Upon hearing this, your eyes lit up. You happen to be one of his die-hard fans too. I didn't expect that looking for a part-time job today would lead to this. Meet him to see the venue. You also hurriedly joined in. Looking forward to seeing the Yin Mulan team in person. Slowly stop at the entrance of the Central Theater. The moment the car door was pulled open by the security guard, a sky full of lily petals bursts forth from the skylight. Accompanied by petals, Yin Muying in a white dress. Step out of the car gracefully. Bow to the crowd with a smile. You were momentarily stunned as you looked at Yin Muying surrounded by flower petals. She is already beautiful enough in the photo. I didn't expect the real person to be even more stunning than the photos. Under the protection of security, Deng Yimu was surrounded. After entering the theater, you suddenly came to your senses. Oh no, how could I forget to take a photo? A crazy thought suddenly popped into my mind. After observing the perimeter of the theater for a week, then stopped by a wall. Great, there are no security guards watching here. Step back a few paces and get ready to sprint over the wall. Yimu wins. I'm coming. Just then, a girl's voice suddenly came from behind. You were startled, feeling guilty as if caught in the act. Your left foot tripped over your right. You fell flat on your face. Are you okay? She hurriedly helped you up. You got a good look at the person. It's a girl wearing sunglasses and a scarf. Most of her face was covered. You couldn't see her clearly. You brushed the dust off your clothes. Trying to act nonchalant, you asked if she needed anything. I just wanted to ask if you were a fan of Yan Minjing. After you nodded in acknowledgement, there was a hint of excitement in her voice. That's great. Can you help me with something? She stepped aside and pointed to Wei Chong. Can you help me sneak in? You realized what was happening. You directly and firmly refused, saying, that's definitely not going to happen. You looked him up and down. You're also a fan of Yan Minjing. He nodded. Sure enough, upon hearing that, you put on a serious face. I understand how you feel. You want to sneak in and take a photo, right? But that's unethical. Firstly, secondly, and lastly. So I advise you to abandon that thought. He lowered his head, his hands neatly placed in front of him. He quietly and pitifully said, I can offer you a reward, and I won't take any photos. Hearing this made you even angrier. Am I that kind of person? I value your integrity over money. Mr. Shuren said, good character is worth more than endless wealth. Is 100 yuan enough? Virtue today is worth 1,000 gold pieces. Integrity surpasses riches. What about that 100,000? Money is a medium for material exchange, limited and easily lost. Only good character truly matters. Did he shrink back a bit? Isn't it enough? I can add more. You glanced at him. You said earnestly, remember this, don't let it happen again. As you spoke, you had already walked to the wall. Bend down and step up here. The girl's face instantly turned bright red. She hesitated, feeling very shy. Miss, hurry up. It'll be so embarrassing if someone sees us, you urged. She hesitantly moved closer to you, holding onto your shoulder, climbed up shakily, wrapped her arms around your neck, held on tight as you slowly stood up, reminding her. With your movements, the girl on your shoulder let out a series of cries, attracting disdainful glances from passers-by. You closed your eyes in despair. For that 100,000 yuan, you really risked it all. After a lot of fuss, you both successfully climbed over the wall. Thinking about that 100,000 yuan, you couldn't help but smile. I'll add you as a green bubble and transfer the payment to you. As she said this, the girl took out her phone, but the next second, she stared at the verification message on her phone, fell into deep thought. You looked and were equally shocked. The profile picture and nickname are definitely you, but the red box notification below left you in silence as well. Friend request submission failed. The other party has blocked you. But do I know him? This is strange. How can you have no impression at all? You circled around him once. Do we know each other from before? But soon your heart found the answer. Sure enough, this person is a salesperson. You say, your family is so wealthy. Why do you have to do such a thankless job? You start a moral education with righteous indignation. He remained silent, just staring at you blankly. Suddenly, 2 lines of tears slid down from under her sunglasses. Seeing this, you got a little flustered. I'm so sorry. I'll pull you out of the blacklist right now. Saying this, you also took the initiative to add him. Don't take what I just said to heart. Actually, I've done sales too. It's really not easy. But she cried even harder. A series of sobs came from her scarf. Seeing this, you closed your eyes in despair. With gritted teeth, you said in a low voice, "This time it's my fault. I won't take the reward." After saying that, you turned to leave. But your clothes were tightly tugged by her. Her crying voice reached your ears. Still not willing to forgive me? You turned back and saw her tear-streaked half face. I finally found you. Do you know how long I've been looking for you? I've wanted to see you in person since elementary school. After saying that, she opened her arms wanting to hug you. You suddenly stepped back and created some distance between you. This sales pitch is way too aggressive. They've had their eye on you since elementary school. Just thinking about it now gives me chills. You touched your pocket. You awkwardly smiled. Well, I came out today looking for a job. I really have no money right now. Being with me will only hold you back. The girl's cheeks turned slightly red as she softly sobbed. It's okay. I'll stick with you for the rest of my life. You might as well treat her as if she's just rambling. You waved your hand, preparing to leave. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. Enjoy yourself and have fun. But suddenly, he grabbed your arm and wouldn't let go. No way. If you're leaving, you have to take me with you. Your heart tightened. Now he's blaming you for this. So, taking advantage of his moment of distraction, you quickly pulled your hand back. He took a leap and jumped over the wall without looking back. The girl was left standing there. He was lost in thought for a moment. The blush on his face deepened. Tears streamed down like they were free-flowing. Muing finally found him. He couldn't let him leave again. Muing, you can do it, catch him. Then he seemed to be chanting a spell. The corner of his mouth slowly curved into a strange smile. I won't let you disappear from my world again. As you ran, you looked down. You deleted and blocked the friend request you just added. Satisfied, you confirmed it and shoved your phone back into your pocket. But the next second, you crashed into a lamppost with a bang. In an instant, stars danced before your eyes. You covered your throbbing forehead. Reluctantly, you sat down on the stone steps by the roadside to rest. You thought, he can't possibly catch up, right? You're hurt. What happened? A gentle voice drifts in with the cold wind, mixed with a faint hint of lily fragrance. You didn't see me and bumped into me while walking. You answered drowsily, is that so? Let Muing bandage you up, accompanied by the sound of fabric tearing. A pair of soft little hands wrapped around to the front of you. They wound the bandage around you, layer by layer. You comfortably close your eyes and say, thank you so much. You share the same name as my favorite singer. Does that mean you really like Yan Minjing? Her voice suddenly trembles a bit. I have a question I don't quite understand. He leans in close to your ear. So why did you run away? Your pupils dilate sharply. You turn your head to look at the newcomer. The girl wears a faint smile at the corner of her lips. She gazes at your face with a dazed expression. Those sunglasses hide her gaze. But this face, which should have been delicate and lovely, looked twisted and eerie. Your heart skipped a beat suddenly, not because he was being persistent, but because you instinctively felt a chill creeping up your spine. You stumbled and fell down the stone steps. He still stood there, motionless, holding a thick branch in his hand, a strange smile lingering on his face. It was as if he was enjoying your embarrassment. You swallowed hard, forcing yourself to stay calm. That classmate said, no, I was wrong. Are you selling insurance or something? No problem, I'll buy it. I'll get one for my dad too. If it's an online course, that would be even better. My friends are really bored during the winter break. It would be perfect to help them pass the time. As long as you let me go, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Is that enough? The girl straightened up. She lightly taps her lips with her fingers. The other hand cradles her cheek. Her gaze carries a hint of playfulness. How about I market myself to you? She shyly sways her body a bit. Her voice is soft, almost like she's teasing. You were taken aback for a moment. Your mind momentarily went blank. Wait, what are you talking about marketing? Of course, it's me. Really, do I have to say it twice? Her voice grows quieter. Her cheeks flush with color. Did you keep me waiting for a long time? She says this with a hint of choked emotion. I've taken mooing away. No matter what you do to Mooin, mooing will agree to anything you want. He wobbles as he walks towards you, burying his face in your embrace. All I need is for you to have half the love I have for you. That would be enough. Seeing that you didn't respond, his eyes dimmed. His voice was so low it was almost inaudible. Is mooing being too greedy? Just January 3rd is good. January 5th, January 10th. Just a little bit of love is enough. Wait a second, let me think. Your mind is a mess. What's the situation now? Isn't this a sales pitch? Why is he suddenly asking me about love? I've already done this much. After you blocked me that day, I went crazy looking for you. I used all my resources, yet I didn't even know your name. He suddenly looked up. Under the sunglasses, purple light flickered as he smiled and cried. If it weren't for you, the one who encourages me every day, I wouldn't be who I am today. I can give myself to you. Are you really unwilling to give me even a little love? She pressed her hands firmly against her chest. Her fingertips dug in as if trying to pull her heart out. Suddenly, his claws lunged fiercely towards your heart. He threw himself towards you.